Greetings and welcome to the forecasting presentation. We are pleased you have selected our program to make you acquainted with forecasting and its impact on supply chain management. As a supply chain professional, forecasting will be an important tool for your function. This is such a critical part of the supply chain function, and if not done correctly, it can be a catastrophe for the business. Therefore, the supply chain management specialist has to know the intricate details of properly utilizing this tool in order to be successful and to positively affect the company's ability to be profitable. Forecasting is a planning tool used to assist management in the attempt to cope with the uncertainty of the future. Forecasts are usually developed based on experience, knowledge, and judgment. It has been the normal practice of many companies to rely on the sales and marketing departments to provide forecasts to determine the material needs for the next period. These entities of the organization, however, are generally very optimistic in their projections. This optimism usually equates to increases in on-hand inventory, which is not a good practice for the organization. There are various techniques used when developing forecasts. One or more techniques can be used to project estimates for future periods, whether weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Some of these techniques are Box-Jenkins model, Delphi method, exponential smoothing, moving averages, regression analysis, and trend projection. The Box-Jenkins model is named after mathematicians George Box and Gillen Jenkins, and typically used for accurate short-term forecasts of data that shows repetitive cycles and patterns. The Box-Jenkins technique requires an analysis of moderate long-term series of occurrences for an effective outcome. The Delphi method is a technique that combines independent investigation with maximum use of feedback for building consensus among experts who interact unknowingly. The topic under discussion is circulated in a series of rounds among participating experts, sometimes within an organization, who comment on it and modify the options reached up until that point, until some degree of mutual agreement is reached. This method is sometimes referred to as Delphi forecasting. Exponential smoothing is a statistical technique. This technique detects significant changes in data by ignoring the fluctuations that do not pertain to the purpose at hand. With this method, older data is given less importance, whereas newer data is given more credibility. This is called averaging. It is used in making short-term forecasts, but not necessarily ideal for the low or intermittent demand situations. This works well with stable items. Moving average technique is the observation of occurrences equally spaced in time from several consecutive periods. This technique is called moving because as new data becomes available, it is continually recomputed. It progresses by dropping the earliest value and adding the latest value. Moving averages 1. Reduce the effect of temporary variations in data. 2. Improve the fit of data to align, a process called smoothing, to show the data's trend more clearly. And 3. Highlight any value above or below the trend. This method will lag a trend, and the more periods included in the average, the greater the lag will be. Regression analysis looks at change in a dependent variable on the basis of change in one or more independent variables. The relationship of this analysis is associative, and any cause and effect inference is solely subjective. Trend projection is an analysis of time series data involving comparison of an item and its trends over a significantly long period of time. This method attempts to detect a general pattern of relationship between associated factors and predicts the future direction of this pattern. Each model deals with data in various ways. Supply chain is more focused on the data that references a function in time. Is a focus on supplier involvement or outsourcing a function to a supplier? Whatever it may be, when using forecasting as a tool and gathering the information to develop a strong forecast, the following questions need to be considered. 1. Is there a trend in the data? 2. Are there changes due to the seasons? 3. Is there a business cycle going on? 4. Has or will an irregular event happened? Disastrous weather, strike, gas shortages, etc. Forecasts are very important tools for the supply chain professional. As supply chain management specialists, accurate forecasts will be the key to your success and ultimately the success of your organization. Therefore, selecting a technique that will satisfy the cost and accuracy measurements needed to make sound decisions is critical. Understanding the trends, whether driven by the economy, customer demand, or business changes, are essential to knowing what method of forecasting to apply to your supply chain. Whether your organization is large or small, applying the correct forecasting method is an imperative part of remaining competitive and profitable. Thank you once again, and this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to make more money.